A reader from LinkedIn reached out to me and asked for help with round 3 MBA application essay editing. The first concern the person raised was that my former colleagues have all got into M7 school. Also, I want to get into these schools but don't want to wait till round 1. I looked at the profile and there it was, an international entrepreneurial applicant with 6 months of his own startup experience. But then why can't a person wait for another 6 months and improve the odds of success when the number of available seats is not depleted to 10 to 15% of the total class size? Here are 5 scenarios where you should consider round 3. Number 1, US citizens. Round 1 and round 2 are bombarded with international applicants who are applying to 5 to 7 schools. When the competition and unique constraints are much more impressive for an international applicant than an American applicant, the chance to stand out with a typical career, extracurricular, and volunteering milestone also goes down. Round 3 is not like that. Competition from the international applicant pool is substantially lower due to visa restrictions and also from promotions not happening typically in the last quarter of a financial year. There are scenarios where US citizens can stand out. One is if they were part of a critical project whose timeline coincided with the round 2 deadlines in December. March is an excellent time to regroup and apply for round 3 deadlines in April. Schools won't find it a challenge to accept a local applicant over an impressive international applicant who is likely to face visa constraints, especially when the economy is not doing great and there's a surplus of talent in the consulting, finance, and technology industries. Number 2, atypical profile, but there is a caveat. When I talked about the ideal round 3 profile in a previous podcast, I encouraged entrepreneurial applicants to apply as they fall under the atypical profile. But there's also a scenario where you are 6 months into your own startup and you're already applying to an MBA program. This could be tricky because without completing a year on a new career direction, you are hinting at some setbacks in your entrepreneurial career. Now, if you use a goal where an MBA is mentioned as a tool to access funds or a wider network in the business school, it won't look feasible. A startup takes 1 to 2 years to gain some momentum. Here, applying without completing that minimum period with a new venture will be seen as a weakness. This is not the case for someone who transitioned to a new company and the culture didn't fit with their temperament. Then applying during round 3 makes sense. But obviously you can't mention this reason. You must find another goal to show motivation. Number 3, military, government, and non-profit. There are schools like Darden, Turk, Haas, Ross, and NYU Stern that have more than 12% of the class coming from the military, government, and non-profit. Obviously, all these schools are not accepting atypical profiles during round 3. But if you're from either of the 3 industries, military, government, or non-profit, applying during round 3 has a lower risk in these schools as long as you focus on the goals and the motivation part of the application essays. There should be a clear scheduling challenge because you have posted in a different country or a critical responsibility prevented you from applying during round 2. Applying during round 1 and round 2 is the best way to show motivation. Still, round 3 works for entrepreneurial applicants who have completed at least 1 year with their own startup, military or government applicants, or non-profit applicants, and of course, US citizens. Number 4, perception against reapplication. Each school has its take on round 3 applicants who reapply in round 1. The biggest hint of the school's attitude is in the essays allowed to be submitted. If the school has only one essay for reapplicants, you'll be clearly at a disadvantage unless the career progression or uniqueness of your achievements can overcome the limited space available to make your case. Testing it out in round 3 without the assistance of any consultant and later round 1 with the assistance of a consultant is a losing strategy. Better to take all the help. If you need our assistance with essay editing services, subscribe to FNG Math's essay editing service at store.fngmath.com/essay-editing. Number 5, round 1 or round 2 acceptance or interview invites. This strategy can save you a year. I recently encouraged a client who was content with a scholarship from a Tier 2 school and was set on not applying in round 2. I pushed her to apply to M7 schools, and without collaborative editing, she got an invite from Booth, which was surprising for her and also me, because it was not an easy profile to create a coherent goals essay. The contributions were all over the place. There was a mix of skill sets and personal, volunteering, and extracurricular narratives that I had to choose from to eventually create a strong brand narrative for her essays. If you have offers in hand from round 2 and you're getting interview invites from a few M7 schools, I would target even more M7 schools during round 3. For end-to-end support with your MBA application, subscribe to FNG Math's MBA Application Review Service at store.fngmat.com/MBA-application-review.